Welcome back to Smooth Encounters. This week, let's go look at cars. Already looked at one, not happy with it. Going now to look at another. Going to get a trailer before I look at it. So we're outside. Let's get this trailer loaded. And then I'll show you guys what I bought. There we go, Gympie. So load it up and home time. I'll have to wait then to see what I bought. Welcome back to Smithy's Encounters. Today, I'm finally going to show you what I bought. Obviously, a couple of weeks ago the ute left. I didn't even advertise the ute. There was someone on Facebook looking for a fully mental 2H turbo or a 12HT modified cruiser, and I got tagged in it a lot. And it pretty much got what I want for it. Got what I wanted for it. Yeah, old mate seems to be happy with that, so I went and bought myself a new little car. I went all the way to Gympie from where we are, and this is it. So this is my BJ 73 Land Cruiser. So yeah, 3B being that it's naturally aspirated, cousin of a 2H. I actually got a lot of hate in one of my last videos about the ute, calling 2H's crap. It's not like that crap, that is gutless and slow. And now I'm part of that family again. So one thing we will be changing a lot on this car is pretty much all its bar work. I'll be doing an engine swap, full drive line swap, and be doing different suspension in it. Bull bar, sliders, rear bar with twin swing ways. The good thing about the donor vehicle is the donor vehicle is almost very similar. Hoping it's one of the two I can get. There's two cars, late models, that are the same as this, so all the front end's the same, so I know its motor, whichever one of the two I get, will fit in here, obviously, because these are used to having a straight 6 anyway. So you've got all this room, that's where your fan normally goes to, so it's got all that room for the extra 2 cylinders. And I'll also change this airbox from other airboxes. I'll be doing a full wiring loom swap as well. So it's it's a work in progress. You know, I don't buy cars that don't need work. Buying this vehicle, I bought it because of how stock and untouched it is, and you know, a lot of the other ones I was looking at, they'd been quite personalized or molested or played with and screwed with, and it's the last thing you want to get if you're trying to have something authentic and stock. And you know, the easiest way for me to modify stuff is find something that's never been played with to modify. There are purists out there who hate these things being touched and screwed with, so but it's, you know, that's the MIDI, and it should be around for some time to come. So the interior is pretty damn, well, for its age, the interior is pretty smicko, being that's a full grey, just over 500,000 Ks on the clock. But I also bought this car knowing that 8 or 9 years ago the engine and the gearbox were both rebuilt, so that also tickled my fancy. But you know, it does have little things, like it's got little specks of rust coming out in the edge of your door. That's normal for depending how you grab the door. Same in the rear here, you get a little bit of rust there, but that's nothing. The way the car's, like, well, I'll hold this and you open the door.
Not kidding when he says it's easy.
Yeah, like I've never, even your new cars, so even your new VDJs, I've never seen one come to Australia and not have issues opening this door. There was one in Sydney I was looking at. It was a 13 BT. It was over 10 grand more than this one, and the rear doors had been replaced. And that, it's not hard to destroy this area. It doesn't take much to bend your corners, being that there is no real structure here. It doesn't take much to either back the rear tire into something and you start destroying your floor. There's a rose bush behind you, by the way.
Yep.
So you've got your rear seat. There's not much room here, but there's enough room for a 40 litre Engel and whatever else you want. But I just love how easy the doors open and shut. So it's also got a little bit of like rust in there from rubbing. So, but she is an LX model, and I'm fairly sure the LX is one of the top of the line ones. But yeah, the other thing I hate about it really is the secondary fuel filler. I'm not real happy with the way that is in. The pipe rivets and stuff don't care, it's more what's under the car that I don't like. But the interior is also pretty smicky. So I was really chasing the grey interior. There was one in Sydney for low 20s and it was brown, turbo 3B, fairly well molested. And yeah, I picked this one up a fair bit cheaper, so the money I saved buying this I can put into the car to finish it and get it nice and see what color I want to paint it. Like these cars are normally known for, well, the 70 series model, they are known for the windscreens rusting out. So you normally get crap come out of there, which in this car, well, it's got a little bit of Celastic under it. That's actually because the rubber is screwed. So like you always get a bit of rust around here. It's missing its other hinge cap, but like there's no signs of foul play around there. Those bolts look like they've never been touched. So it's got the only other aftermarket thing it's got is the flares. It's got FRP flares on it, which are kind of cute and they're growing on me. I was trying to find one with the big factory flares so I could run my big neg 30-inch rims, but these will do, as long as I don't rip them off on the tracks. But they are actually like half the price to buy as well, so same time I don't really care if I rip them off, but ripping them off does damage, and it's just really, really cute. It's a smitty mitty, like you can, even rocking it, you can hear all the suspension bushes and the oil and the fuel slopping around. So, you know, it has a lot of receipts. Well, not really receipts, it's just got literally like logbook previous history. And the couple owned it for 20 years, so you know, what am I going to do? Walk away from a car what's pristine to go buy a car that's even more expensive, that's been flogged? Yes, it had lower Ks, but this one's also been rebuilt, so you know, pros and cons here. Plus the price ticket of flying to Sydney or Melbourne to look at said vehicles and then probably fly home because they're not what you want. I guarantee if I'd done that, this car would have been sold. So I just went up there and I bought this one. You know, something different to Pam 60. It'll be good once Pam 60 is finished and built, to see how they go on the tracks, like side by side against each other. You know, see how the longer wheelbase and the longer overhang on the rear goes against bloody short wheelbase and no overhang in the rear. Your wheels at the front compared to the 60, the wheels are a bit more further back, even though their nose is way longer. It's kind of deceiving. But then you got where your rear wheel is a lot further forward, and there's not as much overhang like on the 60. I've got like half the overhang, so it'll be good for like crawling down in the gullies. Yeah, stuff you shouldn't be having a big car. I can get doing a little car. You can crawl down creeks and whatnot. Yeah, you know. Also at Claw, we've seen how different length vehicles, different wheelbase vehicles handle different certain tracks. The shorties and the middies kind of struggled, where the longer driveline cars had ease, because the longer driveline cars, their wheels weren't getting that, all their wheels weren't getting in the same spot, whereas the middies and the shorties, the rear wheels went far behind like this one, and that extra foot of wheelbase just made them straddle that little bit better. So it is, you know, it is pros and cons sort of thing, but you don't know till you tried. The only thing I hate is they said this car had never been on the beach. That's a Fraser sticker on the windscreen. I don't know how it's never been on the beach. I only picked up on that last week when I was looking at it, because literally the also selling point is the underside of this car is bloody pristine, and it said never been on the beach. And I got it home, and literally last week I was sitting here staring at it, drinking a beer, and there's a Fraser sticker on the windscreen, so that's a little bit of a tattle. But again, for the condition of the car, who cares? So yeah.